my friends. Welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. This is Katie, and if you're new here, hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And if you're back, welcome back. Today, I am here to share with you a post review from one of my most recently completed kits that actually may be one of my favorite finishes so far this year. This is the absolutely stunning Guise from DIYMoon Shop and licensed from the artist Anna Dittmann. Can we just take a minute and appreciate how absolutely beautifully rendered this piece is? Her skin looks like porcelain and I love it. I love it so much. Now, I had decided to work on this piece because I had seen one of my friends over on Instagram. Her handle over there is Reading Diamonds. Her name's Lisa. She completed this piece and I was so blown away by how it looked finished that I thought that absolutely needs to go on my wish list from DIYMoon Shop. Now, if you're not familiar with DIYMoon Shop, it is kind of a premium level diamond painting company. They license their artwork from artists, so artists are being really fairly compensated for letting their work be turned into diamond paintings. And they make all of the kits in your order to order. They don't have anything pre-packaged and sitting. Once you place your order, they have it made for you and they present it really beautifully. And there can be a little bit of a turnaround time. The prices can be on the high point, on the high side, but depending on what you're looking for in a diamond painting, I find that it can be absolutely worth it. And I have to say, I found this one to absolutely be worth it. She is jaw-droppingly beautiful. So this, as I mentioned, the title of this piece is Guise, and the size on this one is 40 by 50 centimeters. It was, I think, the mid-size available, so that means that there were a couple of different sizes available, which is standard with DIYMoon Shop. And they do put all of the different mock-up renderings on the website for you to take a look at, so you can get a sense for how each particular size is going to look when completed and decide which you want to go with. So for this one, I went with the mid-size. And this had 45 colors in it, which is pretty standard for DIYMoon Shop. And what's really fun about this one is that I chose to get it in square drills, as you can see. Now, if you're not familiar with DIYMoon Shop, they do offer both round and square drills for all of their kits, as well as the different sizes. However, if you do want to get a kit in square drills, it is going to cost a little bit more than the same kit in the same size in round drills. Now, the main reason for that is because, from my understanding, because you are actually getting more drills with square drills in the same size canvas, because square drills are 2.5 millimeters and round drills are 2.8. So you're actually getting more drills in a 40 by 50 canvas when they're square than you are if they are round. Now, I had been wanting for a little while to try out the square drills from DIYMoon Shop because I wanted to see, do I really feel that the finished effect of square drills is worth the price difference? And so I wanted to make sure I was choosing the right kind of kit, the kind of kit that would lend itself to that extra level of detail at maybe a little bit smaller size. And so I thought, a portrait. This is the kind of kit that in my mind perfectly lends itself to doing in square drills rather than round drills. And I really do think that the finished effect is beautiful. So I started this kit on May 7th and completed it on May 12th. So it did go pretty quickly. There was some color blocking, like up in these areas. These dark colors are actually not 310, they're 939, which is a very dark blue as opposed to a black. Some of the areas in here were quite confetti heavy, and believe it or not, down here, this is a couple of different shades of beige, but I think it is just shaded so beautifully. But it did go relatively quickly. The drill quality was pretty good. I liked that, with one just tiny exception. So let me think of a good place to show you. So, okay, let's look here in the top corner. Okay. So if you take a look, you'll notice that the drills up here in this corner, they fit a little bit more snugly, like the dozen drills or so here. And then if you look at the other nearby drills in other colors, you can see that there is a tiny bit of gapping. Now, the drills up here in the corner are actually from my spare drill stash. I'll explain that in just a minute, but just for sake of comparison, you can see that these are actually EverMoment square drills, are just a tiny bit bigger overall than the DIYMoon Shop drills that are here. I will say the drills were consistently sized, but there was just the tiniest bit of gapping overall. It really didn't bother me because you can't see it from further away, except in some of these lighter sections. From as far back as the camera is, you know, the 3 or 4 feet that the camera is away from the canvas, you can still probably pick up that there's a tiny bit of gapping here where I didn't perfectly place these drills centered. If I pull it up close, you can see it. I didn't find the gapping to be as noticeable in the dark drills, but that just generally is consistent. You're not going to notice non-perfectly placed dark drills as quickly as you will light drills. So I know that for a lot of people, myself included, generally speaking, gapping is a deal breaker. In this case, the gapping was so minuscule to the point of being almost unnoticeable. It was not a deal breaker for me in this case. Now, if you take a look here, I'll show you another section so you can see what we're talking about. Some of these were not perfectly placed because I got in a rush once I got up to this part, because this was the last section that I did and I was excited to finish. You can see there just that little bit of gapping that I'm talking about, and I don't know if this is the case across the board with all of DIYMoon Shop square drills, but that would not alone stop me from doing a square kit from them again. There are other companies where I've seen significantly more noticeable gapping in the drills that I've definitely gone, you know, I'm not going to go back to that company again, but I would prefer having just that tiny bit of gapping to the drills fitting so tight that I'm running the risk of them popping. These drills did not pop whatsoever. Okay, what did I absolutely love about this kit? What was my favorite thing about this kit? Hands down, the rendering. I really feel that this might be the most beautifully rendered portrait in diamond painting form that I have ever seen. And that is without hyperbole or exaggeration. I am blown away by this kit. The effect of the shading that they did in her eyes and in her profile, it is meticulously hand rendered. You can feel how delicate this veil is. You can see the textures and the wisps in her hair and the shadows. The flowers in her headpiece are stunning. The colors are lovely. Hands down, the rendering is incredible in my opinion. This is all just my opinion. Rendering is what I find that DIYMoon Shop does best. It's a distinct rendering style, and you may love it or maybe not so much. I love it. I love it so much, and I feel like it lends itself so beautifully to the artists that they license artwork from. So I find that that's part of what you're getting with this really premium experience with the diamond painting, is you are getting this beautifully hand rendered artwork. I love it. I love it. The drills themselves, by the way, even though they were overall a little bit on the small side, as I mentioned, the quality on them was otherwise very good, very consistently sized. They also just looked really pretty. They look super shiny. I had posted like a reel over on Instagram where I was multi-placing with some of these, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, those drills are beautiful. They almost look metallic. Yes, I loved these drills. They were fantastic. I thought that the symbol quality was overall pretty good with one little exception. So let me show you. I have the legend taped in my log because DIYMoon Shop doesn't have legends on the canvas because they want it to be like more frame ready. It has this border instead. So they do what a lot of people like to call a walking legend, which is separate. So I always tape it to my logbook when I'm done, which yes, this is my logbook. I'll show you guys how I log my paintings sometime. But if you look here, okay, there's a 7, and then there's a slash. And they're both black text on like a dark green background. Those two really almost tripped me up. Like really, it was a close thing. But ultimately, I just made sure I was working in natural light, which generally speaking, that's a note for this canvas as well. Just because the symbols were overall a little bit muted, not unclear, but muted, I found it much easier to work on this canvas with natural indirect light as opposed to a direct overhead light. I probably could have used a light pad and that would have helped as well, but that's a good trick to keep in mind. If you are having trouble making out the symbols on your canvas and you're using any kind of direct overhead light that's coming straight down at your canvas, try using either an indirect light source or working like near a window during the daytime and see if that makes it a little bit easier on your eyes and easier to make out those symbols. The one other thing I did want to mention before I forget. So normally when I finish a DIYMoon Shop kit, I'm like, look at all these leftover drills. And I say that to an extent, which yes, I kitted up just by using numbers this time. My printer was out of ink. This is not how I normally kit up. I normally would make a copy of the walking legend, put it through my Xyron sticker maker, and then I would have the symbols on here. Anyway, doesn't matter. So look at all the drills that we have left, except I ran out of a color. This was such a bummer. Such a bummer. Now, before you ask, no, this was not one of those symbols that looked the same. This was 40, so it was D 3817. And to be totally honest with you, I have never run out of a color in any of the DIYMoon Shop kits that I've worked on. This was the first square that I worked on, so I don't know if their process looks different with that. They did come in Ziploc baggies as opposed to like pre-sealed, like cellophane or whatever. They were in Ziploc baggies, so I have to think that they were done by weight. So that was kind of a bummer. I ran out of a color and I was short by, I counted like 160 drills. It was a bummer. It was even to the point because I was so surprised to actually run out of a color. I went back and I picked off a couple of drills where this color was. A couple of drills that were this color and confirmed that I hadn't placed any in the wrong place. And I had it. And I was really meticulous when I was doing this kit because I didn't have the symbols on the containers. I was always referring to the walking legend. So that was a bummer. I was fortunate to have extras of that color in my stash, which is up here. As I mentioned, these were Ever Moment drills and like this pale aqua color there in the top right. It's kind of throughout this whole section. I didn't actually realize that I was going to run out until I got to that section because I started at the bottom and worked my way up, and you can tell that there's not a ton of that aqua color throughout the rest of the canvas. It wasn't until I got up here and I realized, oh, there's big chunks of that aqua color. I think I'm going to run out. And I did. If I would have been willing to be patient, I'm sure that Reggie and Rowana, the owners over at DIYMoon Shop, they absolutely would have sent me more drills. That they stand by their product, and if there's a mistake, they own it, they make it right. But I didn't want to wait. I was like, I can finish this in the next half hour, or I can put it aside until those drills come in. I'm just going to go check my stash. Sure enough, I had them. And so I finished this kit. Not a huge deal. So that is worth noting that even if you do run out of a color or have an issue with the quality of the drills, just contact DIYMoon Shop and they will take care of you. They're fantastic like that. So overall, my experience on this kit was fantastic. For my first square project from DIYMoon Shop, I really feel like this was a good choice. I love the finished effect and the extra level of detail that I got from using square drills on this size. I thought the size was right for this kit. Now, kind of the big question that I keep coming back to for myself is, do I see myself with any regularity sort of upgrading and paying for square drills over round drills again? I do have one other square drill kit from DIYMoon Shop in my stash, and because the kits are already expensive, which if you're curious about what my thoughts are on just generally, is DIYMoon Shop worth that high price point? My answer is yes, but that it's going to depend on what you place value on in your diamond painting kits, and if they offer the priorities that you have when it comes to diamond painting, which for me, they just so happen to. I love the artists they license from. I love their rendering style. I love the overall experience, and I love supporting a small business. And of course, I love that all of their artwork is licensed. And again, that might not be what you're looking for in your diamond paintings, but I love it. It's for me. As far as if the square drills are for me, it would have to be for the right painting. I'm not now going to always get square drills instead of round drills. It's going to be for special cases like this one, where I feel like the overall effect of square drills will just elevate the painting even more, like portraits like this one. Canvases with lots of neutrals like this one, and really delicate details. So no, I'm not always going to be buying squares, but when I look at a piece and think, yes, that one is, I'm in love with it and I really think that it's worth it to upgrade to square drills, yes, I will do that. But I think it has to be a personal decision, and you have to decide if it's worth it to you. But overall, once again, another fantastic experience from DIYMoon Shop. They'll continue to have my business, particularly just for special treats and splurges. I love what they're doing and what they have to offer, and I am glad that I can share that with you guys and hopefully help you decide if this is something you might want to get for yourself or not. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think of the overall finished effect? What do you think in general of the idea that square drills do cost more than round drills? And do you find that something like that would be worth it? Often the price difference is as much as $15 or $20. It's not tiny. It's not like a $2 or $3 upgrade. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on that. And just, do you think this is as beautiful as I obviously do? Again, I am just so happy. I keep gushing, but it's true. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. I really hope this video was helpful for you. If you're interested in this kit, I'll be sure to link it down below in the description box, along with a couple of different DIYMoon Shop affiliates that I do like to purchase through to, help them out a little bit as well. And if you did find this video helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up before you click away. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider just subscribing for more diamond painting content like this. Words are hard. And leave all questions, comments, etc. in the comment section below. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope you have a really good week. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.